Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the Jade Gemini. Tonight I'm super excited to bring you this interesting video on this guy right here. This is the Tactile Turn. I think it's still considered a bolt action mini. This is the Ultem or Ultem 1010 bolt action pin by Tactile Turn. So we're going to go ahead and go over some of its features, some changes possibly that maybe we weren't expecting, what I like, what I dislike, and all of that stuff about it. Before we do that, let's go and get a size comparison out of the way. Nothing too super duper severe, but just some common things that people might have if you're in the EDC community. This is a standard 91mm Swiss Army knife. So that sort of gets you an idea of the size. Another thing, this is a standard AAA. So if you're not in AA, so if you're not in the EDC community and you don't have a knife or something like that, and this is the thickness. So it's a little thinner than your AAA or AA. Sorry. So with that out of the way, let's kind of go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing is where the journey kind of started is like this guy right here. This is a Tactile Turn bolt action mini, the first sort of generation, original version. Well, technically second gen. They revised the way that this clicks open and things like that. But this is like their original style with this deep carry pocket clip that screws on, not the later slim model that has an actual milled clip that bolts into the side of the titanium. So this is the one that I ended up getting, quite a small little pin, and I ended up going and getting this. So loving this pin so much, and having it for more than a year, just about, or right at a year. When I ended up going ahead and hearing about an Ultem version, I was definitely interested. Now that has to probably be something to kind of start out. What is Ultem? Ultem 1010 is a sort of a high performance, cutting edge technology material. I'm really into sort of engineering and material chemistry and engineering and manufacturing, things like that. So basically what's so cool about Ultem 1010 is it is a metal or alloy substitute. It's not a replacement for metal necessarily. It's not going to replace every part in the world, blocks on a car and things like that. It's not meant for that. But what you can do with Ultem is you can 3D print it, which is huge. You can actually, mill it out of a block, which is probably what they did here. And the cool part is that it is non-toxic. It is food safe. It's actually registered to go in the body. So you can make like a bone part or something like that out of Ultem 1010. That's the full name of this stuff. And it be safe. Also, if it catches on fire, it's self-extinguishing, which is really great in aircraft, and it is lightweight, yet it is strong. And the cool part is with it being able to be 3D printed, you can take and say, hey, here's a manifold on a car, or here's a suspension component. And normally, we need this sort of structural rigidity. So what I can do is I can just 3D print a little bit more material over here and over here that I normally couldn't do on a cast part, and boom, it's available to do it. Or if you needed something prototyped, you can 3D print it instead of having to contract to have a mold made and new material to make a new method to make. It's just really cool stuff. And I'm really, as soon as I saw that it was going to be in that, I wanted to go ahead and jump on that. So getting it, this is just way more than just a material change, which I'm going to go over. So one thing that I like starting out is on the original pen. It's great. Don't get me wrong. Love it. And even the writing, in it, the cartridge. It is a Pilot G2 Mini. And I kind of went over in the review of this guy that, it's kind of limited. You can get some conversion kits and have really super duper thin, ink refills, but for the most part, this is the only thing you're limited to. And it's not a bad refill, but again, you know, kind of getting into the pen world, if you will, or whatever, it would be cool to, you know, kind of be able to experience and have a multitude of different options. The other thing is, like I said in the video, you kind of end up wasting the fact that they don't sell the mini Pilot refills by themselves. You have to buy the whole entire plastic shebang, throw the plastic away, and then take out the mini. So just something to kind of keep in mind. What's cool about this, though, is, as you can see, it's fatter and it's a little bigger, which we'll kind of go into. Because of this, though, you're actually able to, I don't know if you can see here, bit of focus. You can see that it has a Schmidt sort of hybrid ink gel refill inside. So it looks like that this is actually going to take a more standard style you know, refill, which is cool. You know, give you more options available. So that's the first thing that I like. The second thing I like is the size. You know, this is not bad, don't get me wrong. You know, this has worked for me. I don't write novels, so if I just need to jot down something, it's there, boom. Having this be a little bit more chunky, and also being out of Ultem, it is less sort of slick, cold, metallic-y, and more just grippy. And it's also very, very lightweight. So all things that are a benefit and a nice change of pace. Again, not that this is wrong or that this is going to be, you know, sold or anything like that. But again, just things that are cool. I like that chunky, burly feel. It also is nicer to have something that's longer. It's not so cramped up, and just using the very tip to write, I can sort of have a little bit more movement here. And again, you know, just having a little bit more gription as well. All really, really great things that I like about this. The next thing, I was kind of concerned that, you know, I was sure that Tactile was going to make a good product, but still, going from an alloy to one of the strongest alloys to, you know, a plastic, very, very high end, very, very cutting edge plastic, but still plastic, right? Sort of something that scared me. But just like the Tactile does, they really didn't. They made sure to test and, you know, look into every single thing. And again, that sort of goes back to that, you know, again, you can grow to add strength of equal to or in a relative, you know, field as metal. So that's what they did here. They increased the size, the width, the thickness of the material in here, all these little things to basically have it equal to the strength of like a metal or somewhere in the, you know, the realm of, you know, good enough, right? So really kind of cool to see that literally practice put in play. I mean, literally the bolt here actually is a longer bolt, you know, as you can see, because they've made that material thicker. Just little different things like that. Also, this has had no flex whatsoever, up and down, you know, hasn't come loose, anything like that. And if anything, one thing that I absolutely love is it's actually an improvement in quality control. One thing I was kind of disappointed about when I got this pen is the fact that when you kind of rotate it around, you could feel where the cap comes on right on this side. And you can also see like a big line, especially along the front. And I kind of just felt like it wasn't, you know, maybe it wasn't what I was expecting or wasn't matching the ones that I saw on people's reviews. Also down here, you can kind of see that on one side, it's like almost completely flush. And then on the other side, it's like it got off cant a little bit. And you can see a line right there. With this, that you cannot feel any lines at all. Everything is 100%, you know, lined up. So that's something that is really, really cool. Again, not the exact same thing. There has been improvements and changes. It's not just a material change. The coolest part, my favorite part, is the action. So kind of like a trigger on, you know, firearm or something like that. there's different ways that they can make sears to have different pressures before things break. Again, not a firearms channel, so that's just as deep as I'll go into that. But basically, as you can see right here, they have reworked the bolt action on this. This is a sort of cam slope gradual, and then it just sort of drops into place and is held here. While this goes a lot more straight. It almost goes this way and then around instead of just straight down. And then it just completely falls off a cliff and clicks over. And what this does is it just gives a much funner, more fidgetability than this sort of soft, almost mushy, you know, sort of rotating roundness. This is a lot more like you almost pressurize, kind of like a detent on a knife, and then just bang, right? Also, on pocket knives, I'm huge into acoustics. That's one thing that just like, you know, put serotonin in my brain. This has amazing acoustics in this Ultem, you know, material. So, you know, the burliness, the grippiness, the, you know, sound, the action. There's just all the little things and little boxes that I would want to have ticked in this. You know, the refill has been met. So, you know, if somebody out there says, well, you know, the price of, you know, this is the exact same price as this, I just can't imagine any sort of way or realm saying I'm going to pay for a plastic for the same as God tier alloy, right? Titanium. It's a tactile turn product, right? And at least with their pins, they are still cream of the crop, you know, top tier. And you are getting all that quality, and in my case, even more than the original. And honestly, maybe it's just the, you know, newness or whatever, but I would say that I prefer this. If I had to get rid of one, I'd be keeping this. And it's just something cool about the modernness, the see-through. I like this sort of Jurassic Park mosquito trapped in amber, you know, look, right? This golden look. Some people say that it looks like something that you know, a liquid that comes out of your body after you drink water, right? But to me, I really, really like it. And some of my friends in the Discord jab me, but overall, really, really, you know, glad with it. Also, they make a full blackout version of this. So if you want to go with the stealthy look, you know, full blackout EDC, or that's just your thing, all black everything, as MKHB says, and he's not wrong, right? You can go that route without having to get the zirconium, which is like $250. And, you know, you can go at this for, you know, like 33% the price or whatever, and, you know, get the all blacked out version with the blacked out hardware. Me, I love this. This is what tells me in my brain is Ultem. You know, this is the kind of thing that I like. So that's kind of it overall. There's really nothing negative. You know, I've been carrying it around. I don't really see very much where Ultem is a strong material. Again, I'm also really glad that nothing's come loose. There's really the smallest amount of back and forth play if I had to say something, but, you know, again, I'm sure that if they were able to get the Titan tolerances down to this, you know, it wouldn't move. It's just probably because they can't torque it as much. Not that I think it's going to come loose, just I think the specs are a little different, right? And that's fine. I'm okay with that. Pocket clip looks to be the same pocket clip. Just checking that out. But yeah, really no negatives, all positives here. Only thing that I would say I'm worried about, you know, mildly, right? More so that I'm probably just a little bit of a hypochondriac than it actually ever happening, is the threads on the threads. They're good. They're really fine cut, everything like that. But, you know, again, you just want to be careful, make sure not to over torque it. But again, it sort of has that same great action where you tighten it and then you just hit a wall. Boom, it stops. It's not like you keep spinning and you can over torque this and strip the threads. It is just, I'm tightening and then it's tight, 100%. So really, really cool. So that's basically it. Don't need to go on very much longer than that. definitely recommend if you're interested in it. If you're on the fence because it is all of plastic, I would say go ahead and go for it. You know, if anything, if you don't like it, you can always return it. You know, Blade HQ are amazing folks over there. As long as you're not using it, I wouldn't feel guilty in saying it's just not my cup of tea, sending it back. But I'm sure you won't. But anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel, as well as subscribe, because there's a lot more ADC content going ahead and coming. Of course, I also like when you end up commenting below, fellowshipping with you guys, answering any questions that you might have. Most importantly, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video, as there are so many amazing content creators out there. You decided to take time to click on my little channel over here, and I really, really appreciate that. I hope everybody stays safe. Have a great rest of your week. Peace.